Shalom. My name is David Fine. I'm speaking to you today from Modi'in, Israel, where I live. I am the founder of the Barkai Center for Practical Rabbinics and Community Development, an organization which strives to build strong communities throughout Medinat Yisrael via the training of Israeli rabbis in practical rabbinics, pastoral care, and community leadership. Parshat Vaetchanan. Rabbi Nachman of Breslov famously said that it is asur, it is forbidden to become old. What could he have possibly meant? He could not have meant that it is asur to become old chronologically, because not becoming old chronologically is something which we cannot prevent. It is something which is beyond our control. What he meant rather was an approach to life, a frame of mind of oldness, of being old, a frame of mind that is lacking freshness, that is stale, that is lethargic, that does things today the way we did them yesterday simply because that's the way we have always done things, a way which is stuck in the past. Instead, we need to be interested and involved in ri'anun, in refreshment, and we have to be involved in hitchadshut, in renewal. We always have to seek out new ways, new methodologies, and new avenues via which we can connect in a more profound way with HaKadosh Baruch Hu and His Torah. This has a lot to do with the section in Parshat Vaetchanan, which we read just a few days ago on Tisha B'Av morning, Ki Tolid Banim. The pasuk tells us, Ki Tolid Banim uvnei Banim, v'noshantem ba'aretz, v'asitem pesel tmuna kol, v'asitem hara b'nei Hashem Elokecha lahachiso. A very stern warning. The Torah tells us that after a few generations in the land, we will become evil, we will become corrupt, we will even go so far as to worship false gods. What is the root of all this type of behavior according to the Torah? V'noshantem ba'aretz, staying long in the land, having several generations staying a long time in the land of Israel. Now, what could possibly be bad about staying long in the land of Israel? I would think that staying long in the land of Israel is a good thing, something which would cause positive behavior, not negative behavior. So what the Torah is trying to teach us is that it is warning us against what Rav Shimshon Raphael Hirsch calls sakanat ha'hityashnut, the danger of being old, the danger of being stale, the danger of lacking enthusiasm, the danger of lacking appreciation for Eretz Yisrael. The people being born in Eretz Yisrael after a few generations will not even remember a time where we didn't have Eretz Yisrael. They won't appreciate Eretz Yisrael. They will take it for granted. They will even think, chas v'shalom, of Eretz Yisrael as a land like any other land. And if they do that, according to Rav Shimshon Raphael Hirsch, then they will come to not appreciate HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself. They will come to take that relationship for granted as well, and they will become numb, in a sense, to a life of Torah and mitzvot. The opposite of Yashan, as opposed to Zakein, according to Rav Shimshon Raphael Hirsch, is not Sa'ir, is not young, but is rather Chadash, it is rather new and freshness. That is the opposite of Yashan. So what the Torah is telling us, according to Rav Shimshon Raphael Hirsch, is that we must always stay refreshed. We must always be in a state of renewal. We must do things that raise our enthusiasm about Eretz Yisrael instead of lowering it. We have to appreciate Eretz Yisrael, and we have to not take it for granted. We have to search out new ways, new methodologies, new avenues with which we can come to a better appreciation of Eretz Yisrael. And this is not just true about Eretz Yisrael. It is true about our entire life of Torah and mitzvot, about our entire Jewish psyche. We don't want to do things the same way we did them just because that's the way we have always done them. This is taught to us most famously, perhaps, by a pasuk in Ki Tavo a little later in the Torah. The pasuk reads, Hayom hazeh Hashem Elokecha mitzavcha la'asod et hachukim ha'ela ve'et ha'mishpatim v'shamarta v'asita otam b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha. The Torah is wondering why, Rashi is wondering why the Torah uses Hayom today when the Torah is not commanding them on that day. So Rashi tells us that Hayom hazeh Hashem Elokecha mitzavcha b'chol yom yiyu beinecha chadashim ki ilu bo bayom nitztaveta alehem. We have to treat the Torah and mitzvot as if They are being commanded to us anew each and every day. Only in that way will we retain our freshness, we will retain our newness, and we will prevent ourselves from doing things by rote, by doing things just because that's the way we've always done them. And in that way, we could excite our balabatim, we could educate our children towards a more positive relationship with our Yahadut, staying fresh and not becoming old. Shabbat Shalom.